Hey, Tim.
What's going on?
Steven, Steven, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I was on a Zoom call earlier today and they said it was an echo from me, but I've been on all day, so it's weird.
Yeah, we having a little bit of technical difficulty, so the green screen had to get moved, and then I was trying to set it up, and it didn't work, so
No
now it's just
problem.
a hazy green screen.
No problem. Turn on a fan here.
I did finally get the
We'll get
slides.
started here in a second. So guys, this is a Zoom meeting instead of a webinar, so everybody can be on camera if you want to be. If you don't want to be, that's totally fine. This is way more interactive and intimate. So the way this is going to work tonight is Steven's going to present about finding keywords for your listings. And so, like, unlike a webinar where you can't really say anything, you're going to be able to say, hey, wait, Steven, what's that? What did you just do there? And ask questions. And so just definitely different than a webinar. So excited to
Yeah,
have you guys.
I'll be presenting a little bit off the slides, but if you have any questions, I feel very confident in these slides. We've presented, even this week a lot, not on this topic, but just in general. But anytime you feel like interrupting me on my presentation, that's fine. I like that more than just me speaking, going through the presentation. I know a lot of people are going to have questions. Feel free to ask any. Don't feel like, oh, I have to wait, or that's a bad question, because
All right.
if you have a question, somebody else, I guarantee, has that same question. Tim, what's going on? I
Rob
ain't seen
will
you in a long
interrupt
time.
you. Hey, Rob.
We haven't. How you doing?
Like, you got a nice office setup. That's what it looks like.
It's a mess right now, but yeah.
Cool. And if you guys have anything going on, like if you're not talking, it might be best to mute, just to be safe in case, get a phone call or somebody comes into the room, your kid's screaming, like in my case.
Or my dog bark.
Or the dog barking, yeah.
Or if you want to type it in chat, I'm just going to ask Ryan if you can hit those questions in chat, because for some reason that I can't do that. I can have you interrupt me as I'm presenting, but I cannot read chat and present at the same time.
Sure.
That is my kryptonite. That's why I'm so glad I do a lot of things with my brother, so you can read chat and then we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, guys, and this is not like a Zoom webinar where there's a Q&A box. Everything's in chat. So if you do have a question, you don't want to interrupt him, or you don't want to wait till the end, or just if you want to, feel free to type in the chat there, and I can interrupt him if we need to, if it's on point to what we're talking about. So cool. I'm gonna make sure everybody's on here that needs to be on. So Jenny accidentally double booked her bundling workshop webinar with Lisa Larson at the same time. And so she may join later, but it's totally fine because we have our PPC experts here. Jenny and I are not the PPC experts, so it's okay. Even if I could totally jump off and you wouldn't be missing anything. I think we're good. Just make sure everybody's on here. All right. Cool. Okay, so guys, welcome to the pay-per-click take action group session number 1. Again, I think we said this on the webinar. Just really excited about this because we know that there's a lot of folks in our group that need this badly, and it's not something that we've done. Admittedly, Jenny and I have not done a great job of providing this content, and honestly, it's just because it's not our area of expertise. We're not data-driven people. We don't love looking at spreadsheets. And so we found people that do, that are totally qualified to do this, and way, way more qualified than Jenny and I ever will be. And so I guess what I'll do is have them say hi. Just go quickly, introduce yourselves, 30 seconds, a minute, what you're doing, how long you've been selling, all that type of stuff. And then have Steven Hibbert, who's up in the top right corner for me. He's going to open us up tonight with how to find back-end keywords. That's not something we touched on the webinar. So normally how the tag group works is that we'll cover some of the same material that we did on a webinar, but this is not a webinar. It's not just us talking to you. We'll go over some review type of stuff, and then it'll be open it up and say, okay, Rob, what can we do how can we help you with your business? What's going on in your PPC ads? Where are you stuck? Where do you need help? And it's just going to be then basically open up the floor. We might go around and tag everybody who wants to speak, or if you don't want to speak, there's no pressure. Then just open the floor to who has questions. How can we serve you? How can we help you out? Get over any hurdles that you have in your business. That's typically the way it's going to do. But since today, in the webinar that we did, the free one, we did not cover a lot or any, I don't think, right? So even anything on finding those keywords, we maybe said you need to do it, but we didn't show the process. So tonight is going to be more like a webinar in that, it's going to be more Stephen talking at us. But again, like he said, he wants us to interrupt and, hey, I don't understand this, which is cool because you can't do that on a webinar very easily other than just typing in a chat, hey, repeat that. So this is a small group. I think we got a few more people who signed up, some that couldn't even make it, aren't going to make it tonight. So that's an advantage for you guys. You have definitely more time to yourself with our experts. And then next week, we're going to be picking it up, let's see, with setting up your campaign. And so that one, because we did talk about that in the free webinar, it'll be kind of a review, like going over some content. And then it's like, okay, how can we help you? That's pretty much how that's going to work. So I guess we'll have everybody, Stephen, we'll have you go last because you're presenting tonight. So Rob, you want to go first and just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey, my name's Rob Kryn. I have been selling, I guess, 4 or 5 years, starting RAOA like a lot of people, started developing that, understanding that, and then realized that really didn't want to do that type of process, so I started getting into private label. I joined the coaching program. Abe Ortolani was my coach, learned a lot from him, and was able to take those skills and really take my business to the next level and be able now to share that information with a lot of you guys that are maybe struggling in certain areas. So,
cool. All right, Melissa, you want to go next?
Sure. My name's Melissa Reynolds, and I've been selling for probably about 3 years. I'm in the coaching program. Abe is my coach, and he had taught me everything I know about pay-per-click. And it really turned around. I do mostly private label, so it really boosted my sales when I started doing pay-per-click better.
Good. And then Common, how are you, man?
Good, good. So I've been selling since 2015. Met Ryan, Jenny, Steven in just some Southern California thing. They're just so friendly. So I do RA, I do wholesale, I've done private label. I still do private label right now. I've run PPC ads for RA, wholesale, and my private label.
Nice.
I've taken a bunch of PPC courses and yeah, worked with Abe, been friends with Abe for a few years as well. So looking forward to the group. I'm happy to help anywhere I can.
Yeah, Abe definitely knows his stuff. So Common, you said something about PPC for RA and OA. So guys, we know that our private label may not be your only thing that you're trying to do. We know we're in November, and so it's Q4. So this is an opportunity, like if we get done or you have questions and it's not necessarily about what was presented tonight, that's totally cool. Hit Common up and say, hey, how can we run PPC ads on RA stuff? Happy to go. Guys, this is all I'm saying is this is your time. We're going to have things that prepared in advance to talk about, and we're definitely going to take you through a process and have some homework at the end of the night. But it all comes down to we're here because of you. And so if you have questions about other stuff, if it's related to something that we're going to cover next week or the week after, we may say, hey, we're going to cover that. But even if it's just a little outside the realm of this, like asking a question about how to do it for RA, let's do it. Let's talk about it, because I know that we're right now in the thick of Q4, and so that could be very helpful for you. So Stephen, let you introduce yourself and take it away from here.
Yes, I was just trying to think in my head, like, what do I want to start on? I've been selling online for probably 15 years, kind of running the gamut through almost every selling platform. Craigslist is kind of where I cut my teeth. I was racing cars illegally and motor swapping, and then I just found that Craigslist is a cool place that I could trade parts or sell parts, and then I started seeing, oh, I could pull other car parts and sell them through eBay. So I started doing that. And then I was like, what else can I sell? And then just, I think like most people, finding stuff around the house. I picked up Chris Green's book, Retail Arbitrage, like when it first came out. He foolishly put his number in there and I called him a lot. So from there, probably 9 years, I've always been in the background. I've always been online answering questions, helping people, but it was always behind the scenes. I didn't really want my name to be known. 2 years ago now, I won an auction that Ryan had. Was it?
That was just last year.
Yeah, it seems like way longer than that.
Like last May or June.
Not that long ago. Ryan saw what I was doing and said, oh, you're doing a good job. Keep going, essentially. And then just working with him, doing different things. We went to Vegas, so that's where I met Common. And as I was there trying to learn from Ryan, he was like, oh, you could do this next year. We could do this. And then that same year, I went out and helped Ryan present and take people around Vegas. So it's been a wild ride the last year of having a ton of opportunities open up to me. But I have done OA, RA, books, anything you could possibly sell. I feel like I've done it. Private label. Right now I'm working with my brother and we are teaching and training, and I'm enjoying that way more. We still do a lot of products, but we're doing mostly print on demand. And then we're trying to build more brand and brand recognition than anything else right now. So we still do a lot of PPC. I've racked my brain around it because I'm trying to learn how to do it with KDP and merch, and it's just a different ball game. I feel like I have all the knowledge, but it's just something that I do not have the time for. So I'm outsourcing that currently. So if you have PPC questions, I'm more than willing to answer any of your questions. I feel after this year of kind of coming out and meeting everybody and people knowing me from different things, I do a thing with Jenny, the KDP. So I always have an AKA. Even this last trip going out to St. Louis and speaking at the Legends, there's still people that know me from Vegas, from different things. And just Danny said something to me that kind of resonated to like, who do I want to be known as? I think the tool guy. Like I'm entrenched in all the tools. I pay monthly for a lot of tools. I have a lot of friendships, so I have a lot of tools. I've reached out to a lot of the developers, a lot of people behind the scenes on a lot of tools, and I feel like I have a deep understanding of a lot of tools. So that's why I'm excited to present tonight. I'm going to attempt to make it as simple as possible to understand. I think a lot of people know what's going on, but I'm just going to use some different terminology maybe that you're not used to, and kind of make it as clear as possible. So that's why I said, if you have any questions during this presentation, feel free to ask me or stop me. It shouldn't affect me, and I should at least have an answer or a direction to point you in. I'm not going to say I know everything, but I have used a lot of this and failed a lot and have the scars to prove it. So I feel if you don't know who I am, by the end of tonight, you should be able to know, okay, at least he understands keywords and the tools. That's what I'm hoping to come off as.
We hope you know what you're talking about. If not, Jenny and I are firing you. If you guys have questions, feel free to unmute yourself even while he's talking and jump in and say something.
You want me to start screen sharing from now?
Go for it, man. Let's jump right into it.
Oh, this is fancy. Everything is like hidden behind something. I didn't know if we were going to have faces because a lot of the presentations I've been doing has been no camera. It's all just been the presentation, so I have this slide. But this was actually last year at CES, and this is the first time I actually met Jenny. And it just is wild to me how fast time has felt, and looking back how slow it's actually gone, and realizing that it hasn't been a year and it feels like forever. I feel like I really know Ryan. I've met his child multiple times. I've met his wife. Like I feel like I really know Ryan and Jenny. So I just want to, before I start, say thank you again to Ryan. Any opportunity I have in front of people, I just want to continue to say thank you. But this is pulled from the presentation that you guys did last week, the ABCs of PPC. Tonight, I'm only really going to be covering A and part of the B, but the ABCs of PPC is just the acquire, and they did touch on it a little bit on their presentation. I'm going to go hopefully way deeper so that nobody in here has any questions of how to gather words and how to filter them down and then how to use them after tonight.
Oh, guys, by the way, this is valuable for creating your own listings. If you do bundling, this is all the same strategy that you would use for creating a killer listing for any type of product you're doing. So this is not just PPC related.
Yeah, especially this first part. If you, hopefully by the end of tonight, you understand what tools to use, how to use them, and any tools that you don't have, at least you'll understand, like, that's probably the biggest question I've gotten over the last year is like, what tools should I be using? Do I have to have Jungle Scout? Do I have to have Scope? Do I have to, and just, I think it's not clear in the community of what tool is doing what and where the information is coming from. And I'm trying to clear that up. And I think I've been able to help so many people with understanding that I feel like that's kind of my calling, is to kind of clarify that in this community. So A is acquire, B is build, C is choose. These will be done throughout the next few weeks, but tonight we're just going to focus on acquire and a little bit of the build, because I'm just going to be talking about the listing, how I kind of gather the words for different parts of my listing. So how I pull the words for my title, how I'm kind of sorting them through my bullet points, and then my back end. So the ABCs of PPC acquire, there's kind of 3 different types, and this is what Ryan and Jenny talked about in their presentation. They have the seed keyword. I'm identifying this word slightly different than they did, but the shortest keyword or keyword phrase that best describes your product and passes the 5-step test, that to me is a seed keyword. Next, we're talking about supportive keywords. These we're going to shorten up. They can be as many as you want, but for understanding purposes, we're saying 3 to 5 additional keywords that point to the same product and pass the 5-step test. And then last is the low-level keywords. And these are 10 to 20 related keywords that point to the same product. So that was pretty much in their presentation. This is where I'm going to heavily deviate, is how to acquire those keywords. And we're going to be using tools. You can do everything I'm talking about without tools. Just it's going to take you a lot of time to do it. And I'm going to try to touch on that a little bit, but really dive into a lot of the tools. So my motto for teaching everybody is trust no tool. It's not necessarily the tool's fault. It's kind of on Amazon. Amazon doesn't release any of their information. The tools are trying to do the best they can at guessing the information. That's why a lot of people keep on asking me, oh, Merchant Word says this many search volume, Scope says this many search volume, which one's correct? Neither of them are correct. They have extremely smart people behind the scenes that are coming up with algorithms, coming up with tools to kind of take a best guess. But I would say whatever tool you're using that gives a certain type of information, just use that tool as a measuring stick. So if you use Merchant Words, just use Merchant Words as a measuring stick. If they say, what was the example that you gave? Clock? A digital clock? If they say digital clock is searched more than black digital clock, even though the numbers might seem wildly different, just understand that one is searched more than the other. That's really the way that I look at the tools. And a lot of the information that they pull is from API information, and it's a little skewed, but it's mostly on Amazon. Amazon is a major company. They don't want a lot of insider knowledge being known to the community. So that's why I say trust no tool. But what I'm going to try to do tonight is just explain where the data is coming from, how the tools are using it, and then what each tool is doing. So this is like a big idea that I'm trying to make as small as possible so you can kind of wrap your head around it. The data is coming from 2 major places. The search API from Amazon, and that's customers searching. And I'm going to talk about these tools, but I'm going to be calling these tools autocomplete tools. And then there's the listing API, which is just the competitors' listings. And they're going to be pulling from the title, the bullet points, the back-end keywords. They're going to see how they're indexing. But there's tools that can tap into the API at Amazon, and that's where they're pulling that information from. So one, I just want to make this distinction. One is coming from how customers are searching, and the other one is coming from how competitors are using it, the keywords. So the 2 different types of autocomplete tools, again, I know this might be a little overwhelming, but with all my examples, I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible. So at any point you feel like stopping and asking questions, feel free. I hope I'm not losing anybody. But the 2 ways that the autocomplete tools work is one is using the seed keyword only. So tools like what John Paul made that sits on Amazon and is actually doing additional searches on your behalf to find more search results is just using the seed keyword. So if you type in digital clock, it's going to search digital clock, tap into Amazon's API, and pull back as many searches as they can that also use digital clock. So tools like keyword.io do the same thing, except they live off of Amazon, and you can go to their site, and then instead of just being able to pull out, say, 20 that Amazon's suggestion expander pulls out, it's going to be able to pull out a lot more. And there are a lot more tools like this. These are just the ones that I'm going to actually show examples of how to use them. And then the related search. I know a lot of people use merchant words. This is a good example of a tool that does ping Amazon's search information using digital clock, but it doesn't just bring back all results saying digital clock. They might have other ones that have clock used a different way, or say like the most AAA battery usage digital. I don't know how that would do, but I'll show examples of that. Actually, I don't have merchant words, but Ryan does. So if you guys actually want to see how that's pulling up. But Jungle Scout, any web-based app is almost doing the same thing. They're pinging the API. They're doing what they call matrixing. They're filtering in different words and doing multiple searches to bring back as many results as they can give you. The next is the listing tools. Jungle Scout Chrome extension is, I think, the most popular tool that is talked about, at least in Ryan's group, along with maybe Scope. But this tool is a good example of a listing tool. This is I don't know if you guys have used the tool and have seen this. This word cloud is actually pulling from all your competitors' titles and kind of combining them and showing you which one is used the most. And I'll show an example of this as we go on. And then any tool that's doing a reverse ASIN, when you're putting your competitor's ASIN into a tool, it's actually pulling all that information from your competitors' listings. And then my favorite tools now, after collecting a lot of keywords, are these shifting tools, is what I call them. Word Counter is quickly becoming one of my favorite tools. It just allows me to dump all of my information into place and kind of quickly allows me to sort the information so I kind of have a better understanding of what's going on. And then the duplicate remover. So once you do gather all of these keywords, it's going to seem overwhelming. It was taught before. I think Tyler even showed in the private label group of how to put all these words in an Excel spreadsheet, how to sort them, how to categorize them, how to pull out duplicates. It's just a lot of clicking. And if you're not good with Excel or Google Sheets, it's a lot of extra work. There's a tool that you can just dump all the keywords into, and it pulls out all the duplicates. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I didn't lose anybody in the acquire keywords. And like I said, I will be doing over the shoulder. I will be showing all these tools. I have a list that I'm going to be working down to try to capture all of these different tools, the way that I worded them, and then explain them a little bit more in depth.
Oh, I just looked. Apparently, my merchant words account's no longer good. So.
No problem. I can show the example because they allow you to do a test search.
Okay. I never really used it, so.
No problem. The building the listings, or building the B part of the ABCs, I'm just going to touch on the very first part of this, and this is the listing. And again, I'm going to just show you how I'm pulling the keywords that I can justify using in my listing, and then the additional ones that I'm using in my bullet points, and then my backend keywords. But the campaign we'll be going over next week. So building the listing and the campaigns, again, you're just creating the listing from the keywords. You're going to be using the seed keyword, you're going to be using the support keywords, and you're going to be using the low-level keywords. So tonight, I'm going to do this with this example, but I want to ask for any suggestions. I really like when Ryan and Jenny do the rabbit trail calls, and they ask for suggestions, and then they kind of run them down. I'm going to show a lot of examples using bamboo utensils because I know it passes, and I know there's a lot of spaces to compete inside this product. But after I do that, I'm going to ask for suggestions and then kind of use the different tools or whatever tools that you would like me to use. There's tools that I have that I didn't mention tonight that I feel are a little more advanced. It takes a little bit more processing power to figure out what is actually going on. But bamboo utensils is what we're going to use. So I'm going to go over the shoulder. This document I'm going to be working off of, it has been signing me out of a lot of tools, so I might have to stop screen sharing at some point to sign into different things. So I can probably give you guys this list. But the first tool anytime I do research, if it's private label research, OA research, anything that I'm doing, I'm opening up this tool now, just because it allows me to dump a lot of keywords into and sort them out fairly easily. Because I'm screen sharing, I might be deleting some words out of here just so it doesn't bog down my computer. But I'm just dumping all my keywords in here before I move them over to my either Excel sheet or Google Sheets. And then we're going to start on Amazon. We're going to take bamboo utensils. Oh, sorry. I open up merchant words. I open up word counter, and then I'm just sorting these for myself. I know I have one seed keyword that I'm going to put here, and then all the other words that are support words I'm going to put here because they pass the 5-step test, and then the low-level ones I'm just going to be dumping keywords in here so that I can filter through them later. So I'm going to take bamboo utensils. I'm going to open up Amazon. Any questions up to this point?
Nothing in the chat. Anybody have questions?
Okay.
And Melissa, Rob, and Common, like if you feel free to jump in here too. Like if you're like, hey, this is a cool way you're doing it, Stephen, but let me show you a way I do it, or I do it a little bit. Because guys, there's so many different ways to go at this. Some people use spreadsheets, and we're going to give you guys access to one tonight that you can use. But it's there's not like one exact perfect way to do this. This is Stephen's way to do it, and it works. And so just feel free to do it differently as long as you're doing the same type of thing.
Yeah, I've tried to systemize this as much as possible because we have been teaching a lot of people how to do this. And the questions that I have and the concerns, I'm always trying to address those and make it as easy as possible because I know data and analytics is not everybody's cup of tea. So at least if it's procedural, you should be able to follow the steps.
Right.
So we're going to run Jungle Scout on this just to make sure that it is a key, the seed word that we want. Bamboo utensils, it passes. Oh, I have the out-of-date extension.
Uh-oh. Warning.
That's fine. But as you can count up these monthly sales, they add up to more than 750. And you can see that there are 3 that have less than 50 reviews. So this does pass. So I'll take this. I'll go back to my word counter. I'll put that in. And then I'm going to go back to the document just because I want to procedurally show you how I do this. So the next tool that I would assume a lot of people in this group should have, it's not that expensive, and it is very useful for finding other supportive keywords. It's a little more difficult to find the low-level keywords just because of how it works, but this is a good example of an autocomplete tool that uses the seed word. So hopefully I have it turned on. So with this extension, you can see all of the additional searches that they're giving me have bamboo utensils inside of it. So that's why I said this is a autocomplete tool. It's very obvious of what this tool is doing because I'm using the search bar. There's other tools like the next one I'm going to show that don't show you this part of it. But a lot of tools are doing this, and it's, I think, very good to use tools like this along with using other listing tools because this is going to show you how customers are actually typing in and searching. And it's going to make it pretty easy to find other suggested keywords. So we're going to find other places that bamboo utensils is being used and that we can find to add to our list. So I'm going to open up bamboo utensils travel. We just want to make sure this passes the 5-step test, just pretty much the supply and demand. So as you can see, it passes. There's plenty enough demand for this. And there are rooms to compete because there are a lot less than 3 results that have less than 50 reviews. So what I do here is I'd copy this. I'm going to add it to the supporting keywords. I'm going to do one more with this tool, and then I'm going to go on to the next tool. Any suggestions for the next one?
And so how do you decide? Like, what's your process of just figuring out whether you're doing the holder or eco-friendly?
For me, I'm actually opening up all of these because I want to see all of them. But just for time constraint, I'm not going to go through each one. And I will rule out any ones that I know my product is not really going after. Like say I'm doing this product, I might not go after kids. or I
Right.
might not go after reusable because mine are going to be wooden. They're not going to necessarily be like I believe these are going to show more of the plastic ones, or not the plastic ones, but the.
So the keywords have to be relevant to the product that you're attempting.
Yes, and sometimes it's very obvious, and sometimes it's not. Like I might not have clicked on that one, but now that I clicked on it, I was obviously wrong because
Right.
this is the types of products. And then I'll just run Jungle Scout again and make sure that this is a supportive keyword that I want to use. And this one, I'm going to hopefully show some flaws in some of these tools. Like this one is being very narrow-minded because it continuously used bamboo utensils. Maybe there's other words that are better than bamboo utensils, but this one passes. Again, I'm just going to add this one to the list. And you can actually go through and manually probably capture.
Melissa, you said something. You said holder. So what was your thinking with that one?
I was just thinking that it could be a related product.
Yep. Yeah, it gives you a great. So guys, you go through this process. You might think, well, I'm doing bamboo's. The bamboo utensils, and you see you might get other ideas for products that are related to this niche.
And this one does pass. I'm not necessarily going to put it in there because the example that I'm trying to use is like more of just this pack. And the holder is adding a keyword that's not necessarily representing my product. But it does pass, and I completely agree with what she said. It is a great additional product. And if you are having a lot of sales with this, to have a child ASIN on top of that has this holder in there and to use those keywords is another great way to be capturing keywords and using them. Oh, I was going to show the... that it's going to be very difficult to capture a lot of these words and put them in to add them as the lower level keywords just because of how time consuming it is. You either got to click on each one of these and copy and paste it, or you can sometimes copy and paste those, but as you can see, it's very finicky. Sometimes when you click and drag, it just closes the tool. So I don't really recommend using that to add the low level keywords, but if you have Jungle Scout, which I believe is the next one on my list. Yes. So this is a listing tool, what I consider a listing tool, and this is only pulling from your competitors' titles. So not grabbing supportive keywords, but adding a lot of lower level keywords. Jungle Scout is really good at that. So I go back to bamboo utensils, run Jungle Scout. You're going to have to wait for it to load because if you click this too early, it's only going to give you a few words. So you can see bamboo 0 to 11. But if I wait for it to process and then open it back up, you can see, okay, bamboo 24. So you just have to sometimes give the tool a second to finish what it's doing to pull all these words. You can copy and paste it from here. It's a little more difficult, but if you download the Excel spreadsheet, and then I'm normally deleting off this top because I just want to Control C and Control V, and then there, boom. There's a lot of additional low-level keywords. And yes, you will have to go through these. With that duplicate remover, I'm going to show you how to actually pull out a lot of duplicates and then how to kind of filter through those, because you still have to use kind of common sense, because if you don't have a bag, you're going to have to be able to pull out bag. Best might not be an additional word that you want to use. It's not a perfect system when you're dumping low-level keywords. It's just here are low-level keywords that other people are using or other customers are searching, and you're going to have to filter through those to get to your 10 to 20 additional keywords.
Yep.
But Jungle Scout is a great tool to find low-level keywords, but it does make it a little more difficult to find, say, additional supportive words just because of what the tool is doing. It's only pulling keywords from the title and telling you which one is being used more or less. So we'll go to the next tool, Scope, and this is what I consider the same autocomplete tool. So just like this Amazon suggested expander, it's doing kind of the same thing. It's pinging an API from Amazon that's tied to customer searches. And this one, again, is the related search. It's not the seed keyword only. And I'll show you that once we click into one of these listings. I got to move you, Ryan. Sorry. Can you see your picture on my screen, or is what I'm moving invisible? Okay.
No.
Hopefully Scope is going to work. Okay, nice. So this is pinging the API, like I said. Normally how I like to sort this is by position, because this is going to show me more usable words that I can find and use as support keywords. So bamboo utensils with an S. The API is being a little, or the search algorithm currently is being a little funny. Normally, adding an S to something does not change anything, but I have noticed in the last few weeks that an S really seems to throw off the system, along with any dashes or non-letter characters is really throwing the algorithm through a loop. So if you are creating a title, I know this is like big to put dashes and all these different characters in there. I would not suggest doing that anymore, because if you I'm not going to take the time to do it, but if you search this and then try to see if you're indexing for this word, it's a really hit and miss right now if you're indexing for words that are in quotations or around dashes.
So guys, this is a reverse ASIN. What it's doing is grabbing this exact listing, this listing right here on the page, and it's showing you all the keywords that this product indexes for. Or so basically, if you typed in bamboo utensil, this listing comes up. It doesn't say, it says number 1 right there, right? Is that the position? Is it number 1 for all those things?
It should be. We'll find out.
Yep, there it is. Okay, so that position is saying on the page, when you type it in, it comes up number 1. If it did like 3, it'll be the 3rd position. If it's like 17, it might be 1st position on page 2, depending on how many results there are on your listing page. And so, that's right, because you sorted by position.
Yes.
Okay. And
just because it makes it easier, because I know that when customers are going and typing this in, Amazon is recognizing this as being the most searched, and they are telling me by putting this product number 2 that when customers search this, they want this type of product. So it's just an easy way for me to find other additional supportive keywords. So wooden utensil set instead of bamboo, we'll open that one up. We'll open up a few of these. I want to try to find ones that do not have bamboo in it. Maybe wooden utensil set that has utensils in it. But
would you ever download the whole CSV file?
Yes, I will get to that. You're a little ahead of me. That's why I said I don't think anything I'm doing is stuff that people have not done before. It's just I'm trying to show you guys exactly what the tools are doing and do it a little more procedurally.
And guys, you don't have to use all these tools. He's just showing you all the different ones.
Yes.
Like you may have just 1 or 2 tools, and that's totally fine. He's just showing you just the different ones that you could possibly use. Don't think that you have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on tools every month.
Yes, and hopefully by putting them here and kind of sorting them out, you guys can see, okay, this is how Ryan and Jenny teach how to find your product. That's where you're going to gather your seed keyword from. Then the next step that I'm kind of showing you, how to find these supportive keywords, you can see, even if I don't have that tool that John Paul made, I can still go to the search bar, hit space, find additional keywords that pass, and that's how I'll fill this out. And then I can go into listings and actually pull out other keywords to add to the low level. Jungle Scout makes it quicker. John Paul's extension makes it quicker. Just like I just opened up Scope. Scope makes it quicker, but it doesn't mean that you'll never find these keywords, because if you don't have any of these tools, you can go in and say, hey, they're using bamboo, travel, utensils. I wonder if travel utensils, what does that look like? I wonder set, carrying case. Like there are other words in here that you can kind of piece together. It's just time consuming, and I did that a lot before, and especially during when merch didn't have any tools working for it. I was doing a lot with merch. It is very frustrating at times to search so many things. This just makes it way quicker, because instead of actually going to here, I should know where this lands. So if I'm finding something where one of these keywords says that this is coming up on like the 8th page, that's maybe not a good keyword to use as a supportive keyword, but it might be worth adding those into my backend. But I want to just show this. We opened up wooden utensil set from Jungle Scout. This does pass. Again, I would capture this and add it to my supportive keywords.
There was a unique one in there. There was a healthy utility set. It was healthy,
How far up? Because I've really been scrolling up and down
it
these things. Sorry.
It was right by where you were taking the other one. It was not
Healthy survivor food?
Yeah. I mean, that's not even really related, but.
Yeah, some of these, because of how Scope is behind the scenes filtering these words, sometimes, like this one, this our pet bag, some stuff does sneak through that's not really supposed to be there. Because Amazon recognizes this and they're able to pull from that API, it doesn't mean that this is a good word to use, because as you can see, there's not really any related products. That's why I say trust no tool. It's just, they're not trying to lie to you. It's just the way that Amazon is releasing the information. It makes it a little convoluted, and they have to manipulate the data to be able to show you, especially their score is an in-house score. You won't see this anywhere else. I mean, Jungle Scout has a score, but they're not related to each other at all. Because this one has score and Jungle Scout has score, that doesn't mean that score is a reliable data point. And the search volume here, again, they are behind the scenes taking information from Google, taking information from Amazon, and kind of pairing that up to their own database that they're building and coming up with these numbers. They're not 1,000% accurate. It's just a measuring stick. So if Scope is a tool that you use and you don't use merchant words, you don't use any other tools, I would say that this trading company, if I'm following this line correctly, yeah, trading company lunch is searched more than reusable wooden silverware. This seems really weird. I don't know how you'd have wooden and silverware in the same. Okay. I guess that's what people call it. Normally when I think of silverware, I'm actually thinking like actual silver. But I guess that's not the case. I'm wrong. So I hope I didn't lose anybody on that. I'm just using this tool as a measuring stick. I would say that this is searched more than this. I wouldn't say that it's searched whatever it is 4,000 times more or 6,000 or 7,000 times more, but it is searched more just as a rule of thumb. Yeah, this healthy food one, they might have been here at one time, but it does not look like they're on there again. But this is not a word that I wouldn't add this to my supportive keywords, because this doesn't have the products that I'm searching on it. I might pull food or healthy or survivor from this, but I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm just going to pull one more that passes wooden utensil set. This is not really, we'll see what the last one is. Oh, now I messed up. Close too many. We'll go, I thought I had a wooden one. Reusable silverware. Wooden utensil set.
And for those that are using reverse ASIN to find words, one indicator I use to decide which one to pick is to find the ones with the most reviews. Because when you want to find keywords, you want to mimic or copy the ones that are selling well. And usually reviews are a signal that a product is selling well. So those are the ones you want to kind of like see what they're doing and try to reverse engineer what you're trying to find out. So.
Yes, and running reverse ASIN is pulling a lot of indexing words. And like Common said, I always want to call you Cayman. Common said, the ones with the most reviews should be indexing the most. So if you are doing reverse ASIN searches, which I'll be doing in a little bit, you do want to pull the ones with the most reviews, like you said. So I just pulled this wooden utensil set. This also passes. So we have 4, but I'm going to keep going with different tools. Is keyword.io. I like showing because it is free. There are a lot of paid ones that do this and maybe a little bit better, but this does the same thing. This is pulling the seed keyword, and it's an auto-complete tool. This actually can search Google, YouTube, Bing, a whole bunch of them. Tonight we're doing Amazon. Just going to pull bamboo utensils. We're going to search. It's going to ask me if I want to sign up. I'm just going to scroll down and say no. That's all you have to do. It should only pop up once you open up this tool. Just right here. No thanks. But these are other great places to find supportive keywords. So again, it only searching words that have bamboo utensils in them and adding words to the back end. Sometimes it adds to the front, like reusable bamboo utensils. I didn't see actually any more that does it, but this tool does.
So are you just going through here looking for ones that are relevant to your product?
Yeah, like cooking is maybe a word that I wouldn't have thought of. So I'm going to see if this passes. I'll open up a few more of these.
What did you just do there to get it instead of having to copy paste?
Oh, index. I forget now what it's called. Context menu search. You can shortcut.
That's just a Chrome extension, right?
Yes, and Common's probably the person to ask about that because I set it up a long time ago and completely forgot. And I'm pretty sure he made a quick video and put that somewhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, guys, it just saves you from having to copy and paste it into Amazon.
Travel. I might have done this one. And again, I would probably go through here and open up a lot of them if this is the only tool I was using. And this is a free tool. So if you do not want to pay for tools and you just want to see what other people are searching, this is a perfectly good tool to use to find other supportive keywords. So I opened up 2 of them. I almost want to say I found travel on another tool. I'm going to run it here and see. As you can see, it has enough sales. It's plenty of space to compete here because there's less than 50. This here. And then utensils cooking, which I don't think we have. Yes, we had travel already. Oh, we had set twice too. You can leave them. I'm just deleting them off. And when we start adding more low-end keywords, I'm going to delete it off because normally when I'm screen sharing, if I go over 2,000, it really starts to slow that tool down. But this passes. Bamboo utensils cooking. As you can see, enough sales, and there is space for us to compete. Oh, I don't think I showed. What Ryan was saying is you can download this as a keyword doc. And it does give you all the other data points, but really all I'm interested in at this point is just pulling the additional keywords. And this I'm just going to add to my low-level keywords. So you can see that you're quickly stacking. Oh, 10,000. Let's see if she starts to bog down. Yeah, she's really starting to bog down. I'm going to delete out some of these. Otherwise, she's really going to go slow. And there are a lot of the same word. When we use that duplicator tool, we'll be able to pull out a lot of these. See if it seems to be all right with 4,000. But if you have scope, those are the 2 ways that you can use it. You can use and actually open up these to find additional supportive keywords and then just copy and paste to find the low-level keywords. I didn't mean to skip over that before I jumped over here. But it's almost the same thing here. You're going to click these to find the supportive keywords. You can add all. Go here. It will not let you download unless you have a login. What you can do is just bottom, copy, Control C, and then just Control V, and then you'll paste them all right there. Seems to be working fine. All right. Any questions on this tool? And I hope people are seeing the very resemblance if I use this tool that John Paul made that's pulling the keywords, and they're all using Bamboo, and this tool, and they're all doing the same thing. These are, I mean, it tells you right here, Amazon's autocomplete. That's why I call a lot of these the autocomplete tools. Most of them say that somewhere on there. And this one is just using the seed word, and pulling from there. Did we lose anybody yet?
Anybody got questions? This is feel free to jump in. This is totally on a webinar, so feel free to. That no question is dumb. We're here to help you. So, Tim's good.
All right, we'll keep it moving. Merchant words. Merchant words is a very popular tool in the community. I wonder if I paste. Oh, not all those. Let me refresh before it starts acting up. It's going to tell me I'm going to have to pay for. Yeah. I don't got it anymore. But we'll run the sample. So this is searching for Amazon Echo. As you can see, this is pulling from the same place where it's auto-suggesting. So from the Amazon search bar, they're doing a lot of searches and showing you the information. They're showing results. They're also showing you views on page. Again, I don't truly trust this information or the rank information. Each tool is a little different. But as you can see, they don't all have Echo dot in the name. So you can see this one has $300. It's just showing that this tool, this Echo shows up if you type in $300. So $300 might be a keyword that you want to use, might not, but it's just good information that's not all tied directly to Echo dot, or in our case, utensils, like Bamboo utensils. It wouldn't just all say Bamboo utensils. This is giving you a lot of additional search terms to search. I'm not going to search any of these. I mean, you can open it up here. You can do additional searches. You can search on Walmart. I'll open up one and just show you that the Echo is here, and it's showing you a lot of different products. This is an amazing tool. We actually have an in-house tool that pulls a lot from Merchant Words API because I think they do a really good job. I just don't have Merchant Words anymore because we just directly tap into their API. Anybody have Merchant Words that has anything good or I guess bad to say about it, or questions? Since I'm just kind of flying over this one.
No, I do have it, and I do like it a lot.
Yes.
I use it a lot for suggested keywords.
Yeah, it's a great place to find words that I wouldn't assume were related. So music player for kids, that's not necessarily something I would have thought of, but I'm definitely going to put now music player for kids in my backend keywords if I was selling an Echo, Amazon Echo.
Yeah, they also have keywords from different marketplaces as well. So
yep, Google. And you used to be able to sort them out. I don't know if it's going to allow me to do that on the free version. Nope. But you can normally even sort by category. At least they used to. I don't know if they allow you to do that now. They still have it in their API information. So I don't know. This has changed up so many times from when I first started using it, so I don't remember exactly how now all this information is displayed. But they used to tell you, like, if it's coming from Amazon or if it's coming from Google, they used to tell you off to the side. Doesn't look like they're doing that anymore, though. Do you know who said she had it, Michelle?
Melissa used it.
Oh, Melissa.
Yeah, I have it.
And Jenny says she has it too. Merchant Words.
Does it tell you if it's pulling from Google or Amazon anymore? Or does it just lump it all together?
No, it says Amazon search volume.
Oh, okay.
Because I typed in bamboo utensils and it's 327,000.
What did Scope say that it was?
I don't remember.
See, this is why it's good to have a lot of these tools, because you can quickly refer back and see what each tool is saying.
Well, they
you said 300,000?
327, yep.
327.
They actually have a seasonality, too.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to show on Jungle Scout. So here, that's a huge discrepancy. They're saying 26. Mm-hmm. That's why I said I trust no tool.
Yeah.
It searched a lot. That's all I could say. Is it searched 300,000 times or 26? That seems like a huge discrepancy in the information. It's only because Amazon does not allow that information out. Like, they hold that very close to the vest. So you don't truly know. I just want to point that out because I know a lot of people have that hookup. If they go, oh, that's only searched 1,000 times. Like, that could be wrong. That could be very wrong. I also don't know if it's searched 300,000 times, but one of them is closer, but you'll never know. All right, let me show you. Melissa brought up a good point with the seasonality.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to show this with Jungle Scout. They will actually allow you to do a Google Trends search, and this is really good for just letting you know if it is a seasonal item or if it is an evergreen item or if it's becoming more popular or less popular. I would say this is evergreen. It looks like it's become a little bit more popular maybe this year, but it looks like it goes in pretty ebb and flows, so it's pretty standard for an evergreen product. For the last 5 years, people have been searching it. And again, Google doesn't tell you exact numbers. They do this weird thing 0 to 10 or 0 to 100, and it's very confusing because if you do very side-by-side or comparisons, it really skews the data. But just know that people are searching it, and they're searching it consistently. If you type in, like, I'll say Xmas, you'll see that it's going to have spikes. This is a season graph. You can tell that most people are not searching Xmas throughout the rest of the year. Probably a few searches. I mean, it says 1 and 2. What does that really mean? But you can really tell around September all the way up to mid-December. That's when this search term is being used.
Mm.
So Merchant Words does a quick version of this. They're pulling, I think they're pulling from Google Trends. I could be wrong. And just telling you that it's trendy or not trendy or seasonal. I hope I don't lose anybody by going back. I apologize. So we showed merchant words. And merchant words, you can do the same thing. You can find those supportive keywords just like we did on keyword.io. You're going to open up some of those and search them, see if they pass, and then all the rest of the words that they suggest, you just add to your word counter as low-level keywords, and we'll sort those here in a little bit. Sorry. There are a lot of tools like Jungle Scout, Web App, almost like merchant words. You can put in. Oh, did I close out of? I did. That's okay. I forgot what I was going to say because I closed this. I apologize. There's a lot of tools like this. Merchant Words does kind of the same thing. Scope, when they're opening up on the listing, they're doing similar things. This is just instead of pulling from one listing, it's using this word and matrixing. All that really means is they're pulling this word, finding other words that are related to this word, using bamboo, using other words that are related to bamboo, and then doing different searches on it. So you can see drawer organizer is not bamboo or utensils, but I'm sure from utensils, it pulled the word organizer, and from another utensils word, it pulled drawer organizer. So it's showing me drawer organizer. Now, if I open this, I can almost guarantee that it's not the products that I'm going after. So again, trust no tool. They all lie. But it's just because they don't know truly what I'm looking for. If I could put a picture in here and then have the bots tear down the picture, that might be a little more helpful, but they're just pulling from these words and trying to do their best guess. So wooden spoon is a closer. It's not maybe necessarily exactly the products that we're going after, but it might be able to fit here. Wooden spoon might be a word that I want to use as a lower level keyword, but not necessarily as a supportive keyword. So wooden utensils, I think we have this. I'll open it up. And let's see if we can find one that sticks out. Bamboo straw used as rules. Consumable, cooking utensils, silverware trays, wooden cooking, bamboo, wood utensil set. Not really, but for time's sake, we'll run Jungle Scout and see if it passes. Ooh, too competitive? Too competitive. I'll run this too. Wooden spoons. This one we won't. This also fails, too competitive. This is probably too competitive also. Yep. So you get the idea. There are some that a lot of the tools are travel, cutlery set, pulling up very similar ones, but you can do the same thing here. Find the supportive keywords by actually clicking on these and running Jungle Scout, and then to add to your low-level keywords, you're going to download the CSV. Just like Scope, it's going to give you all the extra information. You don't really need any of that just for pulling keywords. You're going to delete all that. Control-C, add to your low-level keywords, Control-V, and as you can see, we have a lot of additional keywords. This is really going to start freezing up. If you're not doing a webinar and having programs run in the back, it's normally not a problem, but I would leave all these keywords and kind of show you how I'm going to be using these. 4,000 seems to be working better. So with Jungle Scout, if you have the web app, this is another way to use it. You can also pull, we'll go back to that same example, or we'll find another one that might have more reviews. This one has what, 800? That might be the most reviews we're going to find. Products like that. We'll open this one back up. We're going to do a reverse ASIN. When you do a reverse ASIN on Jungle Scout, it's going to pull all the keywords just like how Scope did. They're going to find what indexes for this, what they're using as their title, what they're using as their bullet points, what they're using as their backends, and kind of give you as many relatable keywords that this one of your competitors is using. So you can sort these, but travel cutlery, waste-free bamboo spork, bamboo fork. That, I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll click on that and see what that is. Togaware? That seems a little dangerous. Oh, eco-friendly utensils. This might not be something that I would have thought of off the top of my head.
So, I mean, just remember the goal of this is trying to find words that you wouldn't have thought of. So you're kind of looking through, and I mean, think of it as brainstorming at this point, you know? So whatever tool you're using, you're like, oh, I would have never used that word. That's a good word to pick. That's why you could pick eco-friendly or silverware. Like, I wouldn't have thought of silverware, but it seems like people are looking for silverware for that. So you would add that. So that, just always remember what the goal of it. I mean, I run into tools too. I do as many tools as Steven, and sometimes you kind of forget you're just in the collecting phase when you have to just step back and just go, okay, well, why?
That's why I love
this?
Yeah, that's why I love this, because in the thick of it, when you get lost in the sauce, I'm going to show you kind of how to use this, and it like helps you take a step back, because you do get lost in just collecting keywords, and then you just start dumping them, and then there comes a time when you just keyword overload, and you're like, what product was I looking for? What was I looking for? You just like completely space out. But to go is actually what they're saying here, and it's actually the brand name of this. Now, some people have that as a strategy to add that in the back end. I try not to do that, but if I will run ads and stuff, I might run very comparable ads. You're not allowed to put competitors' brands in your keywords. Amazon does run your products against other competitors, which is a little weird, and they pull the ASIN from it. But I'm sure once we get into that, we'll show all that information. But so I wouldn't use this. Eco-friendly utensils, as you can see, not exactly what we're going after, but I still might run Jungle Scout and see if it passes. Not as many sales, but still a lot of opportunities. Add this up here. Zero waste. And as you can see, he's actually on there, the competitor. This is definitely one that I'd try to run and add. I'm actually going to add this a little too early. Has enough sales, enough space for us to compete. Bamboo utensils. I was just pulling that up as the ASIN. So those are most of the tools that I use that I know are talked about in this group. Like I said, there are a lot of other tools out there. Just remember where the information is coming from so that you're not having two of the same tools do the same thing and paying monthly for them, like I've helped a lot of people discover. You don't want to be paying for a lot of tools that are doing the same exact thing. Just be very aware of that. So that's why I just want to point out that these are complete autocomplete tools. These are kind of spacing now. Listing tools. Tools are pulling from the listing. The one that I just showed, which was the Jungle Scout web app, if you put the ASIN in there, that's actually pulling like a listing tool would be pulling. If you don't put it in there, it's pulling like autocomplete tool. It's just pinging the API, the search information, and then sorting that out. That's why you get that drawer that's not really compatible to your product, but it's showing you those additional keywords. Now, my favorite part. So everybody understands the tools, correct? We didn't lose anybody? Is there any tools that people use that they're like, I use this tool, but I don't quite know what it's good for?
Also, if you're looking for other ASINs to do reverse ASIN search for, what I do is find the ASIN that has the most reviews and scroll down and see like there's always what other customers are looking at, what other sponsored ads. And then you could kind of run reverse ASIN on those as well.
So this is where we were at. We pulled this ASIN from here, but you can actually scroll all the way down to the bottom and pull it. But what Colin was talking about was all of these.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Steven,
customers who shopped also bought, customers who bought also bought.
Tim said he's been playing with Viral Launch. I know Rob knows a lot about Viral Launch too.
Yeah. This is an amazing tool, but it is a lot of data. They have a web version, which I really like, but it is a lot of information. Oh, this one says the same kind of thing about the market trends. That's odd. They also do this estimated search trend thing, which is kind of weird, but they just exactly resemble Google most of the time.
I love viral launch, but you're right.
Yes.
There's a lot of information in there.
Yes. And for just collecting keywords, I don't know. It's more of a tool for analytics to see if the product is worth going after. I think that's really where viral launch shines.
Mm-hmm.
And Melissa, you can say differently if you think any differently. But they do a lot of tool or keyword gathering, but it's not anything that other tools are not doing. But I think they really shine in the, is this product worth going after? What has it been doing over this last 3 years? Is it an evergreen product? Who are my competitors? Like they go into the weeds as far as like product selection.
I like to use it for very unique keywords that competitors are not necessarily using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their keyword research tool gives them some great information about the keywords that are used in the titles, whether they're used or not, and at what amount. So you can kind of narrow down quickly and find keywords, whether if they're getting good search results, but nobody's using that in their title, it's a potential, keyword to go after.
Yes. So Jungle Scout will pull other people's titles, but it's not doing the analytics that Viral Launch is doing. Viral Launch is actually picking keywords, seeing if it is being searched, and then showing you opportunities for the additional keywords.
And that's
very
what.
powerful.
And if you watched Abe's presentation on the PPL live stream 3.0 live stream, that's what he was talking about. That's how he, one of the ways he identifies high opportunity keywords.
Yeah, my trick for doing that failed me. Me and Bob went over that strategy, and he was like, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." But that doesn't work anymore. So I was like, "Yeah, I found that out real quick."
Well, just like you said, it's it's a thing to check, but you got to really compare it against Amazon's results.
Yes. So how I use this word counter tool, instead of just dumping keywords, is actually this part down here, which tells me the keyword density. So just like how Jungle Scout pulled and showed the keywords for the titles, this is all the words that I've dumped in. They're telling me which ones used the most. Now I can go through here and say, okay, set, yes, utensils, yes, drawer, that's not really. So I can actually hit this X and it'll pull up another word into this. So silverware, I didn't think it was that good, but we actually looked at that and it is a pretty used word. But here, utensils with an S and utensil without an S, I'm just going to kill off this one to show me an additional word. So disposable, hey, that's not a word that I would have thought of. And it can also do keyword phrases. So it'll show you utensil set, utensil organizer, and you can do the same thing. Coffee mug is not a word that I would relate to my product. Oh, she's starting to bog down. Too many words, too many programs. Then you can do the same thing with 3 words as a keyword phrase. And then you can see food, gift bags. Maybe it's not. Let's see if it'll let me take it out. Nope. It's going to stay in there. That's fine. So now what I'm doing with this is I'm hitting share because it just makes it much easier to copy and paste. Well, some of these might be a little too long. I'm going to go and actually open up my next favorite tool, which is this duplicate remover. And you can actually dump all of those words in here. And then I would also do this for the 2 times. And the single. I'm doing this mostly to find out, now that I've pulled both from tools that are showing me the search API information and tools that are showing me the competitors' words, I want to find out what words are used the most. Now, this tool won't really let you click on any of these individually, so you can't really edit them from here, but you can take it back to your word counter or kind of anywhere else. I'm just going to put these up top so we can see them. But anytime you filter it through that tool, you will have to kind of manually go through and see. So bags, maybe yes or no. Bamboo, obviously yes. Box, coffee. Cooking, we said yes. Cutlery, disposable, food, gift. I'm not going to go through all these, but you can kind of see how I'm actually going through and pulling those words. And after I filter these words, I'm actually going to try to take them, dump them somewhere, and then try to create a title out of these words, because these to me are the most used words. Either people are searching them or your competitors are using them. This tool is telling you that they're used the most. So as you can see, bamboo is used 30 times. It's not a perfect system, but it just makes it much easier to kind of skeleton out a listing. This is from tools that are touching Amazon's API, processing them. But truly what you really want is directly from Amazon, and this is why we run ads, because the information that Amazon is going to give you is going to be directly related to your product and to your listing. These are words that just help you get you started. So I hope I didn't lose anybody with that. But I would take this and create a title out of it. It's sometimes a little difficult. You need to make a title that's readable for humans and also will be made for the bots. So you're dual purposing the title. You're dual purposing a lot of your listing, but the title is the most important. You want to put your most used words in there, and you also want to kind of start with bamboo utensils. If this is your seed keyword, so you want to start with this and then add the rest of the words into it on the back end. So you might have to say bamboo utensil set includes knife. I don't know how I got in there. Oh, because it wouldn't let me delete it. Includes knife, perfect set for, is an amazing gift, and then the same kind of thing with the bullet points. With the bullet points, though, I'm actually going to copy and select all of this. Oh, I think I just accidentally deleted it. That is unfortunate, and I can't go back now. I would copy and paste. Yeah. Copy all of this and dump this into the duplicate remover. Just clear these off now. And then just like I would make the title, I would go through all of these words. I would check with my title to make sure I'm not using any of the words twice, because for indexing, it doesn't make sense to use the word more than once. This might be where me and some other people disagree, but some people's strategy is to use your most common word in your title, in your bullet points, in your description, your back end. I have not found that it makes any difference as far as indexing. You're just using up additional spaces when you could be finding other words that'll help get you found when people are searching. Does anybody disagree with me on that, Rob or Melissa or Cayman?
Common.
I'm always messed that up. I apologize.
You're gonna have to put a quarter in the jar every time you say it wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, dude, he'll be rich. He'll be rich tonight.
But I agree with you too, Stephen. I don't think there's any reason to duplicate things as far as indexing. I mean, if for some reason it made sense for a human to read it, to duplicate it for some reason, that's okay, I would say. But if it doesn't really add any value as a human reading the title, then no sense having it there.
Yeah, I mean, in your description, if you're writing something and it makes more sense to use the word bamboo than it does to use any other word, I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying be aware and know that it's not going to help you as far as indexing. If it's going to make it more difficult to write your bullet points, then write your bullet points and reuse the word. That's fine. I would not then go again and put it in your backend, because you only have 250 characters in your backend. Depending on category, they have been finding categories that allow you to have more or less, but I would not use the words that you're putting in your title and your bullet points and then again in your backend, because that is just a waste of space. And this is the most tedious part, but once you go through and pull out all of your words, I'm going to actually, if I were to do all of this, I would have all of these, and then I add them to Melissa's Excel sheet that she provided. I actually add another tab onto this because I normally just want to dump all of the keywords. And let me actually go back. Oh, that's going to take forever. The words that I put in here that are support, I'm normally putting here as my supportive keywords. That was a test I was running. The bamboo utensil is my seed word. I'm actually going to put that into where she has seed keyword. All the ones that we found that passed, I'd put them here. I know we found more than 5, but this is where I'd put them. And then going through and sorting out the words. This is another reason why I use this duplicate, not duplicate, the word counter. When you're going through here, before I deleted all the words, I'd be pulling out words through the singles and the doubles and the triples that I could add additionally to here, my low-level keywords. So I would have 20 of them. And then, like I said, I would sort them. I'd build the title out of that. And then from different words, I'd be adding those into my backend. And then that's how I start my listing process. And then also, because I've dumped all of the keywords after I sorted them here, this will help me with running ads. So if I need additional words, or if I see something that I'm like, I noticed that when I run the ads, I'm not picking up awesome. And awesome seems to be one of the words that I think I want to try. I can pull words from here, all the additional ones that I dump, to help me with my ads. And that's it.
Nice. On that spreadsheet, are we getting that to them?
Yes.
I'll do it. I'll send it to them.
Yes.
And on that, Melissa, are we going to show them how to use it?
Yes. As we go and start setting up our campaigns is where we're gonna.
Oh, perfect. Okay, guys, I'll get you. So I'll get you that by email. So Stephen, what's their homework?
Oh, the homework is to take your product, find your C word, run them through whatever tools that you have, and then start filling out that Excel sheet. So you're going to fill out the seed word, you're going to fill out the 5 supportive keywords, and you're going to add 10 to 20 additional low-level keywords. Okay. So pretty much everything I did tonight, pick whatever tool that you have, go back to that part of the video, and then watch that part, and it should be able to help you find the supportive keywords and the additional keywords.
Cool. And Stephen, give me your outline, and I'll get it. I'll email that. I'll put that in the email too.
No
I think
problem.
they should try to get their original or their start of their title.
Okay. Perfect. Rob, comment any other things you want to say, and then I'll ask you if there's any questions.
No, I can't think of anything else right now.
Okay.
Just wanted to give a background on why it's important to have the title and the words in your title bullet points. It's because if the words aren't in your title or your bullet points or Amazon doesn't related, even though you put them in your campaign, Amazon's not going to show ads for it. So that's why it's important that that's why you're doing it. We're just not doing it, because these are good keywords. There's a reason why we're doing it and why it plays into PPC ads. So.
Okay. Guys, any questions that you have? This is the time. The floor is yours for anything and everything you want to chat about it, but even if it's something a little off topic, it's totally fine. I'm here to help you. If not,
nobody's sleeping. Mission accomplished.
That's right.
I think everybody's starting to search for keywords already.
That's right. Stephen, I heard Jenny said that you guys put somebody to sleep one time. She showed me a screenshot of somebody that was on a meeting with you guys, and they.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Especially when me and Nathaniel started teaching, and I was going like heavy on the analytics and the data, and like the first thing I would do is show viral launch, and I'd go super deep into like all the graphs, and people were like, "Okay, I'm out of here. I don't." It's way too much information for me. That's why I'm trying to like just systemize it, make it simple, easy to gather. You have steps that you can do, places to put them, how to sort them, how to actually use them. That was like the biggest complaint that we had the beginning of this year when helping people. Like, oh, that's all amazing information, but I don't know what to do with this information. And
Sure.
I was like, okay, we got to show people more than just like stepping back. What are these tools? Defining the tools, showing the tools, and then showing actually how to use the tools. And then once you pull that information, how am I actually using this information? That's why I love that word counter. It just makes it like, okay, now I'm dumping all these keywords here. Oh, I can just look to the side and see, oh, bamboo is truly the most used word. And oh, I thought utensils was the most used second word, but really it's wooden. So maybe I should add that into my title. It's just a real simple way to sort. And like I would assume anybody in here agrees, once you start using a lot of tools and start gravitating towards some, you're going to find your knack. Just like Melissa said, she's able to use Viral Launch in a cool way to be able to pull out additional keywords. There are some tricks that you can do with Jungle Scout. There are some tricks that you can do with Merchant Words to pull out other clever keywords, but it's, I don't know if it's completely necessary to start. I think the best thing is to take action, pull out as many keywords as you can, as quick as you can, get the listing up, test it out. Have a hair trigger. Jenny has that visual aid of like, where's your trigger, and you can do all the data analytics and then do a little tightening up. I'm like right at the beginning. I like to pull that trigger as quick as possible. I think that's why I love print on demand, because we launch hundreds of products per day, and I can just test them out and then see if the market actually justifies me spending more time on it. If it's sold, then I go back and then I spend more time there to collect more keywords, find other products that might sell to those customers. But I have a hair trigger with all this stuff. That's why I'm trying to use those tools as quick as possible to gather up as many keywords as I can, get the listing up, then start running the ads, then gather the actual information. You're paying for data from Amazon instead of trying to use the tools and they're kind of manipulating the system. Getting that actual data, optimizing your listing, and then selling and moving forward that way.
Yeah, good stuff. And guys, we'll get you this replay too, Jenny. Thanks for the reminder. I'll put that in the email. So, guys, any other questions before we let you go?
Who said they need to watch this again? Jenny? What?
Yeah, wants to watch the webinar again. Yep. Again. No, nothing wrong with that.
To fall asleep to. I know Jenny tunes out when it's was it a picture of Jenny falling asleep when I was talking? That might have been what the picture was.
Somebody else. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Stephen, for doing this.
No problem.
Guys will be up next this week from tonight, right? I think today's the 8th, so the 15th, same time. We're going to skip Thanksgiving, obviously, and then we'll go to the 29th and the 6th. So next week, the 15th at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. We'll see you then. So, guys. Oh, Jenny's getting on right at the last one.
Oh, where's Jenny?
Hey. I've been here all along. What are you talking? I'm just kidding.
We were literally about to jump off.
Great job,
Stephen. You in the very beginning. That was the problem. If he would have said anything, nobody would have known.
We were literally about to jump off. Stephen,
right.
Really good job. Not very many questions. So either they had no clue what he was doing or he covered really well.
I just want to say thank you to Jenny. She wasn't here before, but anytime I get to see you guys on, especially with other people, I just cannot thank you guys enough.
Mm-hmm. How'd the bundling webinar go?
It went great, but I forgot to record it. Yeah.
That means I can't go back and watch it.
Oh, no, it's in Facebook. It's in the Facebook group recorded, but we're recording for the course to be able to have a higher quality for the course. So,
oh, man.
Well, you almost got that last week, too.
Yes, I did.
That's the Dana's responsibility now. That's all the thing.
When I'm using my Zoom, I have it so it's set up, it automatically records everything because I figure I can just delete it. But this was on Jim's Zoom, and I don't have that set that way.
Yeah.
So, it's all good. The more, like what I tell you, Stephen, the more you present, the better you become. So we'll just do it again if we have to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this went well.
Repetition.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job explaining everything. So
perfect. Cool.
We're all good. I'm going to email them the outline, the spreadsheet, and the replay.
Yeah, I sent that over to you in Messenger, Ryan. So
okay.
I can email it to you or whatever you need, but you do have it.
That was a lot of tools that I didn't actually use yet. So.
Ooh, you're going to dig in now.
Yeah, those are just like the surface level tools. I go deep. I have that switcher tool. I got a whole bunch of.
He's like addicted to keywords. You should start a group, although you might be the only one in it. I don't know.
That's fine. Yeah,
I'll
before
join you.
I started
join you,
this by
Steven.
saying that I'm
Got you
I want to be known as the tool guy because we do a lot of reviews and stuff on tools, especially in the group that we have. Just because there's so many people, there's no real tools for merch, so you have to like manipulate all the tools in a certain way. So I've
Yeah.
gotten real good at the tools. So just doing like, is Jungle Scout better than Scope, depending on what you're doing it for, and like I have a lot of
The tool guy.
experience with all those tools now, and especially like being able to talk to Tyler and Eric and I can't remember the head name over there at Scope, and then I can't think of any of the guys' name at Merchant Words and all those guys. They're just really very smart, intelligent people, and if you're able to like pick their brain and kind of see what the tool is doing and why they're doing it and how they're pulling from different APIs and how Amazon is set up and how they have the APIs hidden, and you really have to know what you're doing to get the information, like it's very interesting. It's almost like you're a spy trying to figure stuff out. Like they have a ton of high level college educated people doing high equations and pulling like computer programmed information from Amazon. It's pretty cool.
He had a,
You could
he
start
had
a
a
group.
he had a very good point that I think all of the people in the Facebook group would need is to pay for tools that don't do the same thing.
Yeah, that was a very eye-opening experience for me. I mean, I have all the tools and a lot of them do the same exact thing, but I have them for a reason. But I see a lot of people, especially in the merch community, that are paying for a lot of the very similar tools doing the same exact thing, and they don't know what they're using those tools for. So just saving people a lot of money for like, you don't have to have all these tools. You can use this for this and you can use this for this as long as you understand what's going on. And there are a lot of free tools that are pretty good. And those free tools are getting way better just because the people that are driving the leading edge understand and pull the API, and the people on the free side that are following are discovering how they're doing it, and they're able to bring that to the free side. So it's getting very exciting for people that are creating tools. Because there's a lot of APIs that I was trying to do, so we were building tools, and I was like, I cannot find these APIs, and then like being able to talk to Tyler and those guys and being like, oh, and they're like, don't tell anybody, but this is where we're getting this from. And I was like, that is genius. Like I would have never thought to do that to get those APIs. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that is a good tip. I always tell people too that, don't pay for something until you know why you need it. Because you hear, oh, well, so-and-so's using this. I need that too. I don't know why, but I think I need it.
Shiny object. Yeah. You just go, oh, I like that. I like that tool. I like that tool.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody here is guilty of that though. So cool. I'm glad it went well.
Good job. Yep.
We're set for next week.
We are. We're all set.
Homework's been assigned.
I have 3 more presentations, and I'm done for the year. I'm not doing no more presentations.
You're just going to sit in your keywords.
Yeah. I need to get back to building our business is the problem. We just spent so much time building up all these slides. I'm having a blast, but it's just like, it's not how I like to operate. It's very like left brain. I'm all right brain.
That's funny.
All right, guys.
Cool. Sorry to extend, but sorry, not sorry.
No problem. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely put them in is this a separate Facebook group?
Nope.
Oh.
You can just ask questions, I guess, in the main group. It's fine.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't PM me. My PM box is way overloaded. I apologize for anybody that's trying to message me. It's gone too deep. I have hundreds now that I can't. I apologize to everybody.
Yeah.
I've been saying that all over the place. So if you PM me, I'm sorry. Next year I'll try to get to you, but there's way too
next year. It'll all be new tools next year.
Way too deep.
Awesome.
Right.
Great job, Steven. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Have a great week. Bye.